He is the new coach of Collingwood, Craig McRae. Congratulations and welcome to SEN.
Yeah, good morning, Gerard. Thank you.
Were you able to mark last night a momentous day in your professional career?
Oh, there's no doubting that. I didn't sleep too well. I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I thought, is this real? And it was a really big day. And it's not too often you have days that are just life-changing. This certainly was one.
Could you have well, no one's allowed around and you're not allowed to go out. So how did you mark it in the household?
Yeah, it was actually really, really nice just to go home with the family, and then I had a beer just to settle down. I couldn't stop the phone from going off. I'd answered 10 messages, another 20 would come. And anyone listening out there, I'll get back to you. There's about 400 in the queue. But, it was just nice to get back with the family and then just enjoy the moment.
What about the quick change of loyalties in the household? Who have they barracked for? Because you've been a transient figure.
Oh, it's a good question, Gerard. I've got a little Charlie. She's a 5-year-old and a beautiful little girl, and she's just fallen in love with Hawthorn really quickly and Clarko. And my partner said to little Charlie, she goes, "Oh, Dad's going to be the coach of the Magpies," and then she goes, "Oh, I wish it could have been Clarko." I was like, she just Clarko puts a spell on the kids.
That's really reassuring for you.
Yeah, no, it's great feedback, isn't it? Really good feedback.
Is there, so in your tossing and turning, is there an immensity today to wake up and know, okay, now the work starts?
Yeah, I think so, and I think it's been there for a couple of days, to be honest, Gerard. You get in yesterday and there's just 1,000 things thrown at you that you're maybe not expecting, and trying to get your stuff in order. And I'm in the office now, and I've got a couple of other commitments in terms of radio and stuff. But I'm looking forward to getting my hands dirty with the players. I've made a commitment yesterday to meet with every one of them one-on-one before we start back. So that's going to take some time. But I'm really looking forward to getting my hands dirty.
Is there a reality to it, Craig, that it will take over your life? It will consume you? So you've seen plenty of senior coaches. Are you braced for that?
Well, I'm very fortunate. I've been patient, Gerard, and some of my best friends in Justin Lepich and Michael Voss and recent time Brendan Bolden, working with him, they've all done this role, and so I've been given so much great advice and little things. But until you're actually doing it, it's like anything. Until you're in the chair doing it, it is difficult to know. But I think I'm well rounded at the minute to do the things that come across my desk. But there's a lot to learn still.
You mentioned a couple of your former teammates there. So you're the fifth Lion out of that era to move into coaching. Voss, Lepich, Brad Scott. So all for the moment not coaching at senior level, and Chris Scott, who's still doing it. Have you been an interested observer on their career trajectories as you plotted a different course? Yeah,
absolutely I have, and I've wanted to do it my way. I knew I was going to get a job because I was a great player. That was real, and I knew I had to do it the hard way. And I wouldn't want it any other way, Gerard. It's been the story of my life. Just building it. I looked at my path. I wanted to be a career coach, and initially it was just getting better every day. That was my goal. And so I coached under 18 at Queensland for a couple of years with great success. And then I thought, well, what's the next step? And I just kept thinking, what's the next move? And within all that time, I just was doing this great personal development myself and leadership courses, and I'm a qualified teacher. So I was quietly going about my business until about 3 or 4 years ago when I started coaching the VFL. I thought, no, I really want the next job now. And so it just become that moment of focus that, well, I'll just do everything I can to get an opportunity. And it's my story, and I wouldn't change a thing in regards to the path I've taken towards it.
Do you remember where it started, Craig? So were you teaching when you were playing at the Lions?
Yeah, I was, Gerard, and I look back now and I don't know how the hell I did that. My first year at the Brisbane Bears, Robert Walls was an ex-teacher, and I qualified in Adelaide as a teacher, bachelor teacher, and I went teaching. I went up to Queensland. I got a job. My dad, funnily enough, said, "Footy's not going to last forever. You got to get a job," and that's all he knew. And so I did, and I worked full time as a primary school teacher, and then played professionally with the Bears and played every game. So that ability to juggle two lives, and I remember running at a training, going back to parent-teacher interviews and all. It was just incredible time management. But and all part of my story that set me up well.
Did you know during your playing days that you had a tendency toward coaching?
No, not necessarily. I know when I finished, I was well organised when I retired to have a job in business management with the AFL Sports Ready, and running Queensland and New South Wales. So I had that in place, and I had some media stuff I was doing, and then put the Queensland Queensland coaching job in place too. So when I walked away, I had 3 jobs. None of them really, I wasn't sure where I wanted to go, footy admin or media or the teaching path. But once I started coaching, this is my passion. I really loved it, and that's where I chose the path from there.
When you mentioned yesterday the Collingwood brief when it arrived, and you looked at it and you saw yourself in it, what was it specifically that you went, oh, okay, this is exactly my skill set and experience that they're looking for?
Yeah, there's a couple of things in particular. One was the cultural building. And I didn't get a chance to thank Damien Hardwick yesterday in the press conference, but he's been enormous in my journey. He gave me the chance to start from the bottom in terms of the VFL program at Richmond, and he said, just go to work. And I built this with many hands, built a really good culture from the bottom up, and that really excited me. So when I saw it in the brief, I saw building culture and then relationships. And then the educator, it just sort of hit me in the face, going, well, this is me.
And did that light the fire? Did you go from being interested to thinking, oh, I really want this?
Yeah, I did, and it was a moment. I funnily enough, working with Brendan Bolton all year, we'd go into state trips and go for walks, and we're just talking about, and I'd pick his brain about things, experience he's done. He's been an enormous mentor this year in regards to getting this job. So then the ability to look at the brief, and then I would chat to him about things, and then there was this I can get this job, and I put what the process did, Gerard, was allow me to go back and crystallise all the last 15 years as a coach, and they asked some pretty deep questions right back to when you grew up and who you are, and it just crystallised all my thoughts, and gave me a real good passion and purpose towards getting the position.
You've seen Collingwood firsthand previously, but historically, this has been one of the big positions in the game. So that even the roll call will tell you that. The fact that you're only the 16th man to coach Collingwood is remarkable. So Nathan Buckley, Mick Malthouse, Tony Shaw, Lee Matthews, Bob Rose, and then into the past, Jock McHale, Fons Kine and the like. Is it at all intimidating coming to the Collingwood coaching job?
Well, I'm just in my office looking up all the premierships that have been up in the walls here, and they've got big flags on it. It's a great venue, a great place, rich history, and I'm so privileged. I'm standing in my office going, this is just an incredible opportunity. Is it intimidating? I must admit, when I first, when Collingwood called, Graham Wright called my manager, I did question myself, and do I really want to step into that? Am I ready to step into all of that? But to be honest, I'm a very process-driven guy. I'm not really concerned about those things at the minute. I know it'll come. There'll be moments where I go, well, this is a bit more than I thought it would be. But right now, to be honest, I'm just so driven towards the process of being the best coach for this footy club.
Yeah, so the job is almost the safeguard against just how the perception of how big the job could be.
Yeah, to be honest, even as a player, I didn't really get caught too much in the noise Lee probably taught us so well about just doing your role and so consumed in the process of that. So I'm a very process-driven guy, and I presented that to the board. I did a profile with Richmond in the premiership years, and I was probably at the forefront of that mindset around just being driven towards working towards winning, not actually the outcome of winning, which is just my personality. And hopefully it stands me in good stead, but I also know it's going to be really difficult not to, at times, let the noise in.
Craig, I feel like we've been so privileged to have Justin Lepich on this program throughout the year, and each week I feel like we've learnt a little bit around what the coaching setup looks like now. And so from the outside, it's still all driven home to one person, but it is more than that. What is the modern coaching group that you will build so that you don't have to be everything to everyone?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I think this is one of the most exciting things about the opportunities is the ability to bring in the best team around you. And Graham Wright's given me the opportunity to do that. Justin is someone that we were interested in, and we're working through that. But I said to the board, I want a diverse group. I've been in environments where the coach wants like-minded, and I'm the opposite. I want the opposite of that. Whether they're happier than me or sadder than me or they're better at this, I'm not intimidated by someone with a better resume. So we're in the process of doing that. I want I know Leper's really different to me in terms of strategy. I want someone else as the opposite in other areas, and so I can sit in the middle and then allow people to do the best version or be the best version of themselves. And it is exciting building a team around me, and I think we're sort of in the middle of the process, and hopefully in the coming weeks you'll see that work come through.
How far back did Leper and you go? Did you live together when he first came up to Brisbane?
Well, I know he's led you towards this, Gerard. But yeah, I first got to Brisbane and just living in a little apartment in Bulimba, brand new place, new carpets, fresh paint, and he's had all his stuff in storage at the Bears, and he brought all his boxes over, and they've been sitting there for a while. And they were just infected with cockroaches. so within a week, this brand new place, we had to send the cockroach specialist in to diffuse the place. He just infected the whole place. Yeah, we go back a long way.
It'll be great to see you as a pairing soon enough. How closely have you studied? So in the process to win the job, how closely have you studied this Collingwood group and come to understand its strengths and weaknesses that you want to get to?
Yeah, in terms of a team.
The team itself, the players.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, and it was difficult because I was in the middle of a season with Hawthorn and coding games and the hectic nature of that. And in the meantime, I was sort of coding Collingwood games in the background and looking for opportunities and looking at all the stats and numbers. And I put a lot of time and detail on that, and I presented that to the board. To the subcommittee. If
you were going to give us just a little snapshot, what would you say your opinion is?
Well, the biggest thing that I'm looking early, and I said yesterday, I want to evolve a game plan that suits our needs and what we've got. So I said that we need to be flexible. The game continues to change, but the biggest thing and we experienced it at Hawthorn, middle part of the year, we were the highest possession team at Hawthorn with the least amount inside 50s.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't make sense to me, and Collingwood's had a similar path. So we're going to look to endeavour to change that.
And a closing note, Craig. I love how all of you who are coached by Lee Matthews can't help but quote him. And right out of the gates, It was there. It did make me smile straight away. So for all of you, he's such a big figure in your lives, isn't he?
Yeah, and I will never do one of his impersonations like Leper does because he likes to take him off, but he has been a significant influence in all of our lives, and I'm not in this position without his influence along the way, and I'll be forever grateful.
And have you got 1,000 quotes of his in your mind, or have you got sort of 3 or 4 that are your absolute favourites?
Yeah, there's many. Playing your roles and all that. It was very basic, and it's funny we try to complicate sometimes things that don't need to, and he had an ability to keep us on the same page, which I'm hoping to do the same.
Craig, it's great to have a chat today, and the very best of luck. There are all sorts of ways to find your way to coaching. Yours, I reckon, is a really reassuring journey for a great many, so I'm sure you'll have a lot of backers along the way.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, Gerard. Thanks, mate. Have a good day.